Hi everyone, welcome to another amazing episode of Conversations with IfeTalks. And today's one is different because it's our podcast. And my guests, my God, clock it. I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about something that is not popularly talked about, right? And she's one of my friends that got married at a very early age compared to most people who get married at age maybe 27, 28, 30, 25 and all that. But she got married really early. She'll tell you herself, but let me not tell you the age. And we don't talk about early marriage enough. When we're talking about early marriage in this part of the world, we're talking about the bad part, children get married at age 11, things that happen, unfathomable things, right? But some people get married really early. So today we're going to be discussing that journey, the success with it, the challenges with getting married early, the fears, the concerns, and the good part of it, the great part of it, right? Because they've been married for at least 13 years now, and that's a really long time. So God has helped them. And I know that it's not a journey without, challenges, but she's going to share with us how that went, and how it's still going, because we really want to know. I'm really interested, and I can't wait for you to meet her. She's a very prim, proper, calm, demure woman, of many, many parts. They have two amazing children. Maybe I should not even say all that. She will tell you when she's introducing herself. But it's going to be a very beautiful conversation, something that is not popularly talked about. So today we're talking about getting married early, the challenges, the struggles, and of course the victories that come with it. My guest for today it's marriage that made us become friends, and she's like my sister, and I love her so much, and I'm excited that she agreed to do this. This is a miracle first. Just have me first say, praise the Lord. Because for her to even agree to do this is first a miracle, because Michael will not talk, she'll just be looking, but she's loaded with a lot of wisdom. These depths that you have, where do you want to go and drop it? Come and drop it on IfeTalks. So today, please join me to welcome Mayokun, Ogunleye, my sister, my friend. Okay. I'm excited because there's so much that we're going to be talking about, and I'm even happy that you did it. So first, thank you very much for agreeing to be on set here. Welcome. I know it took a lot. A whole lot. But I'm glad that God, the Holy Spirit itself, convinced you to be here. So I'm glad that you're here. So before we go into the gist, let's talk about who's Mayokun. Who are you? Just a bit about yourself.
Okay, so I always like to say that Mayokun, I'm a child of God. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm someone that is very passionate about helping people. So I do that with everything that I find myself to do at whatever particular time that I find to do it. So I run a business called Bamira, where I help people to purchase things and run errands. Aside from that, I also have a journaling brand, but it's majorly for kids. It's basically to help kids to be able to articulate their thoughts and put it down. So it's just self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and all of that. Wow. I also serve as COO of a digital company. And when I'm not doing all of that, by the way, I also have a business, mattress business. So we sell mattresses, we sell candles, diffusers, room sprays, and all of that. Just something to make your relaxation better. Okay. And when I'm not doing all of that, I love to organize events. So I do that a lot for my friends. I love writing. I love traveling. So yeah, that's me. I'm an alumni of the University of Lagos.
Great!
Yeah.
Great! Amazing!
Good test, okay.
I even see now, when you see her, she's not going to talk. Imagine all the things that she's doing. So my next question will be, how are you able to, effectively be a mom, run the Mocha business, run your Bamira business, where you help people buy things, you're sitting on the board of a digital company, you're all these different things, because of course it's time consuming. How are you able to balance and do, and you're a wife, and how do you do that?
So for me, life is in phases and in seasons, right? How I manage it now is different from how I managed it 5 years ago, 10 years ago, right? Currently now, my children are a bit more matured, so there's time and space for me to do a lot of the things that I do right now. About 5, 6, 7 years ago, I am blessed. My mother-in-law is still alive, but my story, my journey is not complete without Mrs. Ogunleye. I call her Iya Ogunleye, right? Because she has played a major part, like a very major part in my support system, right? So I had my mother-in-law there, so it kind of gave me the opportunity to do things because I know that my child is sorted. My husband is also very supportive. So yeah.
Wow, amazing. So to the crux of the matter, right? Getting married at a very early age. First, at what age did you get married?
I got married at the age of 21. I got engaged at the age of 20, and then I got married at the age of 21. But before then, we dated for 6 years.
Wow. So that means you started dating like 14
when I was 10, yeah.
Oh, at 14, yeah. Where were you? What were you doing?
I had just entered University of Lagos.
Oh, right. You were, brainy, my God. You asked for a child, is brain born. Wow, okay, so you're already in school at 14, so you're in year 100 level.
Yes.
When you met him, you were already in 100 level.
Yes.
Wow, so how did you meet him?
I mean, it's a long story. So we met on Facebook. I'd lost my dad in January that year, and because my dad is a very strict man, right? So we didn't have access to the internet or anything of that. And I mean, now the person that used to cage you is gone, right? So I'd open my Facebook, and then this person sends me a request. And I mean, you're new to Facebook, you're new to the internet, and then I just accepted the request, and we were chatting, right? That was 2008. It was my sister's birthday on the 2nd of June. I walked into her office. I told her, oh, I'm coming to come and visit you, right? Because I came from school. I'm coming to your office, come and visit you. I walk into my sister's office. There was a guy at the reception. And then, I mean, normally I've been to her office before. And then I sat down just as I wait at the reception. And there was a guy at the reception. At the point where we were chatting on Facebook, we had exchanged. So our chat had moved from Facebook to phone calls, right? And then there was someone at the reception. Oh, okay, not a problem. And then he called, and I picked my phone. And it took me like about a few seconds to realize that, okay, the person I'm talking to is supposed to be my Facebook friend. And I had even told him earlier on that, oh, I was going to my sister's office. I was a young girl. I don't really get sense that time like that. So I told him I was going to my sister's office, and he called. It took me to... okay, this person is, and then he says, oh yes, it's me. And that's how we saw for the first time. So we saw the first time on the 2nd of June. Wow. And we didn't start dating until November that year.
Amazing. Well, that's, in fact, I was first saying she got married early. Ashe, she said even dating very early. Oh my God. And that's, you dated him for 6 years and you married him.
Yeah, I mean, we were both, he hit pretty young too. So we're both young people. I mean, people will say it's breakup, but we are used to have all this, obviously, breakup, and again, then you're talking again after 1 week. But yeah, that went on maybe twice. Wow. Yeah, maybe twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long have you guys been married?
13. We'll be 13 in August.
Amazing. So wait, Mayokun, what made you agree to get married at 21?
If I think about this question, it wasn't like I had... It wasn't, like I said, I was a very young girl that didn't know what she was doing. So I had finished school.
Okay.
We had been dating for quite a while. It's something that we still do till now, but even while we were dating, I mean, I'm thankful for the person that I married. He's always been goal driven. So every December we usually sit down and just say, oh, what are we doing for the next year? And I remember the year before we got engaged 2012. The year that was December 2011. We had sat down and he had said, I've stayed this long, because then I had now finished school, right? I've stayed this long, what exactly are we doing? And then it was like, oh, if we don't get married next year, I'm not sure about where this is going. I was like, oh God, don't pressure me, because I knew that I had time. I was a young girl. So I said, okay, you should just give me time, right? And then I think sometime in February we spoke, and I was like, okay, maybe we can start to talk about marriage, right? And then I went to serve, and then he proposed on the birthday. He proposed on my birthday that year, so in 2013. 12. And then I was like, I will not get married until I'm done with service, because then I was serving in Ondo State. I mean, I'm not, I mean, shout out to people that do long distance, but it's not for me. And I will not do, oh, you're married and then husband is here. So I was like, I had to finish serving, and then we picked our wedding date for the following year.
So wait, your dad was late, so your mom was there, and of course your siblings. How did you convince them that you want to get married at 21?
What will I say that is, I don't know if it's the right thing to do, right? Because I mean, as we grow, I don't think that if my daughter does that to me, I would like it. But Julie had proposed to me even before. So now, I mean, it was much later. Remember, we were young. Our parents were not doing what we were doing at the time.
Of course.
Right? So we didn't know. It was not a case of, oh, you know that this is what you're supposed to do. So it's now that you will have to go to the bride's parents and go and say, oh, I want to get married to your daughter, or you speak to, I mean, the family knew him, everybody knew him, my sisters knew him. I mean, he worked with my sister, so my sister knew him, my elder sister, everybody knew him. But we didn't know that. So he proposed to me. In fact, like the day after, I went to go and meet my mom. I remember my mom was with my sisters. I was very vividly. And then when I walked in, I was like, yeah, did I propose? My sister was like, but then again, we stayed for a very long time. It wasn't like anybody. My mom is pretty chilled. I mean, God rest her soul. She's very chilled. She was just like, I hope you really know what you're doing. The only person that really stood up for me, I mean, let me not mention the person, but I remember her saying to me that she was shocked with already to marry, but I'm like, the honest truth is that I'm not sure if I'm ready, but I trust God. Like I said, even at that time, I won't say that I was like a firm believer, but I knew God and I trusted that we would go through it. And another thing that was very paramount for me was to find a kind person. If there's anything, I always looked, I mean, even in my friends, every relationship, kindness is very key. You have to be a kind person. And this person, aside from, wasn't a perfect person, but he is a very kind person. So yeah.
I want to take you up on the fear part you said. So you were scared?
Of course. Because I didn't know what I was doing.
So you were scared, but you still went ahead.
Because I knew that, first of all, I'd spent a long time with this guy. I don't even know where I would have, like, we've grown together. Thinking about it now, I don't know if I would have done it differently, or I said, oh, it was just, oh, we've grown together, we've known this person. It wasn't like I had anything that I was, okay, I mean, we have to, whether you like it or not, you have to get married. Right? Because, I mean, I'm very cultural. I believe in, it's not now that they say, oh, you don't have to get married. You know, that, I mean, I believe that you should get married too. Yeah.
I like what I tell you were scared, right? Because, you know, most people, when you finish school, the next thing you want is get a job, you know, maybe do your master's, you know, all the things that are right. You want to start your business and all that stuff. So at that time, were you working?
No, so like I said, I got engaged immediately after I left school, right? And then the month before I got engaged was the month I went for my NYSC.
Wow.
Yeah, so I got engaged in August. I gone for NYSC in July. So my life was basically just pretty starting.
Right.
Yeah, so it was pretty starting. But then I didn't even think that it would affect anything. Will affect anything. It was just go with the flow.
Amazing. So you entered NYC. You're not looking up left, right, and center. Nobody was distracting you. You went there as an engaged woman. You shut down the boys. Awesome stuff. So I want to now talk about the challenges. You know, I mean, at that time it was all love and up. I know that even now, even if you get married at 30, 45, whatever age you get married, marriage is not devoid of challenges, right? But I'm trying to see the challenges with getting married early, and, you know, if you're more mature age-wise. So what were the, I mean, if you have examples, that would be nice, the kind of challenges that you guys faced as a very young couple?
So we faced a lot of challenges. So, remember that we were very young individuals, right? Young, but I don't know if I should use the word immature, but it wasn't like we really knew what we were doing per se. So yes, of course, I mean, one that, I mean, we still tease ourselves with from time to time is, I think shortly after, because I mean, this was my friend, because we were friends. So we had gotten married, and then was just this time around that Instagram was springing up, and then you just see things on the internet. And I remember one day we were sitting in our living room shortly after we got married, and I told him to help me loosen my hair. And we fought because I told him to help me, because I mean, I'm cultural, he's cultural, we're from the African culture, and like, why with a man is now you see men, an African man will not do that. And then, you know, so it was not fight, but just you keep quiet, you keep to yourself, I keep to myself. And then, like, subsequently, maybe like, I think this happened like on a Friday, and then on Sunday we were going to church, right? And then just, you are seen online, men will carry bags for their own. So I was like, oh, can you carry my bag? I was like, why am I carrying your bag? And it was a full blown, oh, you don't respect me, you don't do that. But one thing that I know that has really helped us and still helps us till now is, maybe God just knew that I can't leave these people alone. So he has always surrounded us with couple or people that are older. So we've been doing this marriage. And I remember I was talking to one of his older friends at the time, and the man was like, "Kosi, big deal now. We should be go back, be back." Yeah. Do you understand? Another example would be when, I mean, I'm the last born. I have siblings, like about 6 siblings ahead of me. So the baby is still in me, right? And like you said, there's no marriage that is void of challenges, especially in our early days. And I remembered we were together. There was nothing in the house to eat, right? And then I gone out to hang out with my sister in our church on a Saturday, and just as he came to come and pick me, I was like, that please, oh, we don't have anything to eat in our house. Can you give me? In front of your husband, you said this. Oh wow! I was just like, because I mean, it's just like family, my sister. You should and then my sister gave me 5,000 naira, and that 5,000 naira, it was a very big issue. It was a very big issue. But I mean, as we progressed, I started learning to know that, okay, it's not everything that you say is I mean, I've always been that guy. I don't have too many friends, because if I have to be too hard, I can just say things as it is. And that's why I don't talk much, but with my friends, it feels like I'm a different person. So, yeah, I remember that was one major lesson, just learning to know that, oh, there's some things that you just have to say. If you guys are drinking, it's a mantra in our house. Even now, the children, you drink Gary in your house. Of course, there will be trusted people that you can tell, but this is not a story for. And several other challenges. Oh, wow, amazing! Now, of course. So, I mean, the way you used to resolve issues when you were just married, younger, and compared to now, is very different. Of course, I've grown. He has grown, but let me say that he was a bit more mature than I was, right? In terms of life experiences, so he sort of handled things better. Has it grown from how we used to handle it before? Yes, but even way back, if I think back, I can, okay, we're not talking. No, I'm not talking. Okay, no problem. 2-3 days, we can go. We're living in the same house. But that was just the small girl in me. Now it's much better. Now I can say, oh, can we talk about this? Before, we don't talk, we move. So, did you ever at any point in this 13 years journey feel like you made a mistake? Like you shouldn't have gotten married early? Like you regret it? So I think personality plays a role in that question that you asked, right? Because people that are my husband, for example, every time I fight and say, I'm fighting you, but I still love you. My own is, I'm fighting you, I'm angry with you and your entire being, right? So, and if I feel like that now, imagine how it was then. So whenever there's an issue, I'm just like, God, she made a mistake, but I did not make any mistake. And then, but I've grown. I think that's the word. I've grown. It's no longer like that. Now when I two fights, I'm just like, do I still, do you still love me? I say I like you. I can't say I don't. But yeah. Oh my God. So at some point you felt like, I mean, obviously it's not now. I know that now you've gone past that, but then the reason I'm asking this is because I know that there's still some people who marry at the 20 or 23, and it might happen a year after, and you're like, I regret this, I shouldn't have.
why did I even marry at this time?
Yeah.
So you felt that kind of emotion at some point, maybe when you were 22, 24.
Of course. But I think that what will be different for someone that marries at my age now would be exposure. At the time, there was nobody around me that was getting married.
Right. No
there
friends.
were none of my friends, none of my friends that was getting, and I mean, it sort of played a part too in that aspect of my life, but there was none of my friends. So for people that are getting married now, I mean, there's a lot of information on the internet. There are people, much more people are now being vocal about marriage. Then it was like, I always like to say that maybe our own generation was like the transition generation between then and now, right? So we were like in the transition phase. So it wasn't like we didn't have so much more, or maybe we didn't seek out so much more information, because then you had to speak to someone to know exactly what was happening. So it's not
I mean, did you guys go through marriage counseling?
Oh yeah, we did.
Like for proper,
we did counseling. I mean, I'm shout out to Reverend Verals is an amazing man. He was one that did counseling for us, and a lot of things that he did was because he made sure we had a book that we were writing, right? And there were times in our marriage where we had to refer back to Dr. Veral's notes, right? So we did counseling, but we've also done counseling even within marriage.
Right.
And I'm a strong advocate. I would tell anybody, no matter how long you have been married, I think once in a while, just a few days ago, I was telling my husband, I said, I think that we need another counseling, because it's like learning.
Yes,
you have to keep learning, because the terrain is constantly changing, and the me of 5 years ago is not the me of now. And if you continue to treat me the way, we will clash.
Great. So let me talk about parenting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you were young. Did you have your kids immediately?
Yes, 9 months after.
9 months. Amazing. So how was parenting like for someone that young? How did you navigate that journey?
We were clueless, and that's why I said that my mother-in-law played a pivotal part. And I mean, a lot of people will not understand why I love that woman so much. And when my kids are a bit more older now, so I just to them, I always say that, Sharon, like, I need to go to a school where I have to learn how to be a grandmother, because there are a lot of things that
like, what didn't you know then
that I can't, I still don't know. I don't know how to buy a baby, for example.
Wow.
I did my mother, and I remember then. So I mean, the usual. When we had our first child, she came. My mom came. Like I said, my mom is very pretty chill. So after a while, she was like, oh, that she was going, and then my mother-in-law stayed. And then after 3 months, it was time for her to go. And I'll keep saying, Mommy, why are you going? You have to just... So she literally, our house was just like dumping ground, because she stayed not too far from us. And then she just goes, gets her clothes, comes back to the house. So that parenting was very easy because I had that woman in my life, right? It was very easy. And along the line, she sort of eased us into it. At the time, I remember when I had my daughter, and 3 days after, she was like, no, you have to bathe your baby. At the beginning. And then I remember, that's like the only time I think I bathed my daughter as a baby. Then I was very hungry, but now I understand that it was because she just didn't want me to, in her own way, she wanted, let this girl even know how to do something. Because I don't really know. But in terms of now, attitude, character, behavior-wise, I'm thankful. Like I said, we're surrounded with a lot of older people. So we take learnings a lot from them. It was from an older friend that we learned that we have to have a family value system that we just sort of ease the children into. So it's just learning, unlearning, and then when we see that we've made mistakes and we learn, so it's not a cast in stone.
Right.
So we're parenting like this. We learn from, it could even be from our friends. We learn to, this is what is better. We try with our children, and then we see that it works. And as long as it's good, it's godly, and it's cultural. Because of very cultural people.
I know you're enjoying the video, but this is me just saying, click the subscribe button, and after you watch it, please share with your community. Okay, let's go back into the conversation now. Was there a time in your marriage where it felt like this marriage is going to end, like we're done, it's going to scatter, and like it's something that shook the foundation of what both of you shared?
So I think that happened in our 5th year. I don't know if we had just crossed into our 5th year or we were crossing into our 5th year. But then, like I said, we were young people. We were growing. And as you're growing and as you're getting exposed and you're meeting people and you're meeting different, so my husband is a very sociable person, like makes friends and all of that. So he had a lot of friends and there was just a gap. And I didn't feel, I didn't, like I said before, I didn't used to communicate. Now that, so I didn't, rather than speak to him, and Devil is a very interesting individual, right? And then someone came into my life and then took over. So the attention that I was craving from him, I started getting from outside, right? And then I didn't even know how deep I had gone in terms of, I didn't know that I started lying. I was sitting with my husband now and I'll be chatting with the person and I would just be lying, right? Just because I was enjoying the attention that I was getting. Thankfully, I mean, God is a good God, because somehow my husband found out of that relationship. And I mean, it was a very sad time for us. It was a sad time for us. And like I said, that's why it's good to have counseling, even within marriage, and just good people, older people that really, your values align. And I remember I was speaking to an older couple that just took liking to us, and the person was like, have we explored counseling? We went for counseling. It took a while for us to come back together, but I'm thankful for my husband, because his mantra is, anytime he talks, his mantra is, if this marriage scatter, it's not going to be because of me, right? So he's always wanting to do things to make it work. And then we sort of navigated that moment. It wasn't easy.
How long did that take?
It was a long time. It was a long time.
So both of you were not talking.
We were talking, but there was an issue. There was an issue, and thankfully, our counselor also helped us through that process. She's constantly checking in, and I mean, we've had subsequent counseling after that, but counseling, I feel like that moment, thank God for older people older couple that God has surrounded us with, and our counselor. She played a very important, because I mean, our parents, well, we both don't have that. Like our dads are not here, and our marriage was not. After that incident with my sister, we had sort of come to. So when there's an issue, we sit down to ensure that, okay, how do we continue that this will not happen again? So we already know that talking to our family about our current situation, this is our home. We are going to, because we're both last born, so there's already the tendency of people to want to interfere. So yeah.
So if you could turn back the hands of time, will you do this again?
Oh my God. No, sorry. I laughed because this question is funny. And I say funny because my response for today will be different from what my response would have been 5 years ago.
Right.
Why is that? If you ask me now, of course I will. But if you asked me maybe like 5-6 years ago, no, because challenges here to party. I mean, just, when you feel like, I said something earlier on, when you feel like you're missing out. Because at the time when I got married, like I said, a lot of my friends were not getting married. And then I now got pregnant like almost immediately. I lost like offers, like job offers. At the time, even I think up to 5 years into the marriage, it was some sort of regret that and then I used to say, but thankfully my husband didn't take. I'm sure he was just always looking at it, that this girl, when the Bible says that God has gone ahead, like he knows what the end is even before you get there, right? Because if I had gotten those offers, it was one of the leading companies in Nigeria at the time, I don't know if I would have the time that I have right now to do all these things that I'm doing. I'll have the time for my children. So yes, if you ask me now, my children are much more mature right now. I can have conversations with them. No shade to my friends, but when I see them just Really said so.
They're parents.
I'm like, I can't relate. I'm like, I can't relate. I don't get it. But of course, 5 years ago, you're thinking because your friends are flying, seeing them in papers, and you're seeing that they're making a lot of giant strides, and you are just here trying to parent 2 children. So yes, that's I said that my response. So if you ask me now, I'll say that just like every other thing, there are pros and there are cons.
Awesome. So tell us the advantages of getting married early.
I just said it right now. First of all, we've grown together. I mean, some of the people that I've spoken to, people that got married mature. There's always opinions. We sort of formed our values together. We sort of formed our values together. We learned together. We made mistakes together, like in terms of marriage, like we made mistakes together, and then we came to conclusions together. So it was like, it's not that this person was grown and then you are trying to catch up, or the two of you have formed your different opinions, and then there's now a lot of clashes. So even though they were two different individuals, because we know that we were growing, so we were learning things together. The children part, that one is a very big plus for me. I mean, my children are a bit more mature. All of the things that I want to do, I'm able to do them now. And I'm not having to think that, of course, they're still looking after the children and just guiding them. But now I'm doing more of guiding as opposed to, oh, come here. Why are you running there? Why are you, like, I can have conversations with my children right now. And just,
Awesome. So I want to take you back to the issue. So one of the things that has helped now is that when there's an issue, you talk about it. So what happened was because you were not communicating well enough. I mean, both parts, of course, not just you. And then, so that brought about the gap. I want to just put, good perspective so that it was the lack of communication, that brought about the gap. And then you guys were able to navigate, even though it took 4, 5, 6. Was it that long?
Yeah, like,
are you serious?
Months. Yeah.
Wow.
Like 4, 5 months. And I mean, the children had come into the picture at the time, but it's just, like I said, it's very clear that this marriage is going to work. Are we going to go through all of the things? We know that we're very much aware that, we'll go through all of the things, but we know that whatever it is, this marriage will work.
And just to put a caveat, it's not actually anything happen. It's just discussion, distraction.
Discussion.
Great. That's not the balance there. So that people will know.
I mean,
but it could have,
that happens too. I mean, there's a story of a lady I was watching. So because during that time, it was now just researching and just finding out, how did we get here? Well, and there was a lady story that I stumbled, and that theirs even went deeper than what we had experienced, right? So it can happen where you have people go through that. It's just the willingness to, and it's not, and as I said, it's not an easy thing. The two of you have to be aligned to know that whatever it is, we will work through it.
Amazing. So I guess to wrap this, because this has been a very interesting conversation. If you're going to talk to your younger self or someone watching this video and the person is married or got married at an early age, before I want to ask, do you think that a lot of conversation goes on about early marriage, about getting married early? I won't even call it getting married early, but just getting married in like your early 20s. There's not a lot of gist on it, right?
There's not a lot of good conversation. And I mean, the average 20-year-old now, when you're talking to them, I know you're not married. Marriage is not on there. Now, we're in the area of everybody just wanting to make money.
So if someone or a few persons are in that situation, and the reason why I asked about challenges is because not a lot of conversation is had about getting married in your early 20s. Like you said, a lot of people are talking about, they want to move further education, make money and all that stuff. But if peradventure, and I know that there's still some people who will get married at that age, 20, 21. And I asked you about those challenges because I know that those are realities. It would happen. People will have all these issues, especially at that early stage, and you want to regret. You're like, why did I do this? I don't want to do that. I want to get out of it and all that. And, like you said, it's a phase. What would you say to such a person or to like your younger self? Because now at least you've done this for almost 13 years. There's a difference between how you see it in retrospect to someone's reality. So what would be your advice to such a person?
I mean, if I'm going to say anything, it will be that life is in seasons, right? And just like marriage and any other thing, seasons would come and they would go. And with every season, there'll come things that you will feel like, oh, I'm missing out on. For example, by the time I got married early, my friends were not thinking marriage. And at the time, I was not wise enough to know that, oh, you have to balance relationships, the friendships that you have with being married. Right? So of course I lost a lot of friends that I feel like we could have been really close at the time. So it's understanding that life is in seasons. You need people. You need people. It's not, especially if you're getting married young, and I say it because now the average 20-year-old now is much more mature in terms of exposure, in terms of the things that they know compared to that time, right? But it's important to educate yourself. Not two marriages are the same. And it's okay if you don't know what to do. You would learn along the way. It's just being married to someone that you guys are both aligned and you know that we're in this for the long haul.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mayo. This has been a very interesting conversation. I had fun, and I know you had fun too, right? So if you know someone who has got married at an early age, who is about to get married at an early age, I mean, someone that just needs to, you need to share this with them, because like she said, there will always be challenges, and maybe a little bit more challenges if you get married earlier, because both of you are not mature, you didn't get a lot of exposure and all that. Maybe, just maybe, right? But like she said, it's in phases. And if you had asked her this question 6 years ago, she'd have said, no, I missed out, I don't want. But now she can say that, oh no, she will do it again if she had the opportunity to. So don't worry, you will still get to the phase where you say, I'll do it again if I have the opportunity to. But thank you very much, Maya. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being a part of this session. Amazing. I feel like I could have asked more questions, like just keep drawing, but we'll do it again and again. But I appreciate you. And thank you to everyone who has watched. Please like, share, subscribe, share with everyone. It's a very interesting conversation, and I'm sure that you will have fun watching it. I'll see you again at the next episode of Conversations with IfeTalks. Bye for now.